In this lecture, we're importing some assets and we're setting up a really simple scene with our spaceship and some landing pads. Let's get cracking. Let's kick things off by clicking on New Project and then going through the steps of making sure we don't forget to do the right editor, Rick, because you tend to forget that a lot. Universal 3D, Core, give it a name. I'm calling mine Rocket Boost. Select the location you want to save it. Click off Connect to Unity Cloud, create project, and hang around for a while it boots up. I'll pause, see you back here in a second. Okay, now we're booted up. I'm going to do a couple of the standard things. First, I'm going to remove my README assets. We don't need those. Also, I'm going to point out the fact that if we go up to Edit Preferences, you'll see that for me, any second now, I've clicked all the way down the bottom on UI scaling and I've got my scaling set to 175%. That's why things look really zoomed in and really big on my particular screen. I'm doing that so that you can see it more easily, particularly if you're looking at this on a second monitor or on a tablet. Everything's as big as I can make it for you. If you wanted to scale your settings as well, you could, so that everything looks bigger, but you don't have to. I'm just pointing that out in case you're wondering, why does Rick's thing look a bit more zoomed in than mine? Next thing we need to do is import some assets. So I've given you a file to download in the resources section against this lecture. It'll be zipped up. You need to unzip it and then double click into it and find this file, which is a .unity package file. Just drag that down anywhere into your assets folder. We can get rid of our Windows window. Okay, and that'll pop up this particular dialog and it'll be saying, do you want to import all these things? You can scroll through and have a look and say whether you do or don't want to import things. We're going to import them all because we're crazy. So we'll click import all these particular assets. And you can see down in your assets directory, you should have a new folder called Game Dev TV Assets. Now, these assets mostly come from our sci-fi asset pack that we've got on our website. Check that out if you want to build more using more of those assets. But we've put together a little free sample pack for you here that you can use however you so desire. If you click into models, you'll see all the models slowly loading in. If you find that any of them have this kind of pink texture, I think that's just waiting a moment before it loads, or it could be that I've made a mistake with how I packaged them up and provided them for you. If you do find that, you can click on the object and it could be something's going wonky with one of these color palettes. If you click the little selector here, maybe we can try one of the other emission things that we've got, or we can try the first one for the sci-fi palette. Click around a little bit and then click on apply. Oh, and that fixed it. So if you do have any of these objects that are pink, that means the material is missing. That's the way Unity says, hey, I don't know what's going on here. So probably for this one, instead of sci-fi 2, it's sci-fi just regular. Click on apply. Yep, and that fixed that as well. So I don't see, oh, there's one more in there with some pink aspects. I think this might be, we'll try that one. There's a little bit of, I don't know why. Sometimes you just need to kind of poke it and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, sorry, I didn't know what I was doing there. In the spaceship folder, we've got this one here, similar process. Just click on the little selector and then click on one of the other materials and then apply. And I think the last one here, sci-fi, apply. There we go. So we've jogged them all into working, I think, at this stage. What I've created for you here in my limited artistic skills is a prefab. If you click on the prefab folder, I've created Rick's Weird Space Pod. If you drag that into your scene, give it a moment for the textures to pop in. Yep, you can see it was kind of blue for a moment there. I'm going to, while I'm here, click on the global volume and just push it out of the way because it's annoying. We don't need to look at that just yet. But I've got my spaceship here. If I click on F, that'll zoom in on it and focus on it. Now, it's really important that right at the very start here, right at the get-go, we establish which way is right and which way is up and which way is left. And you can see that if I rotate around, this is actually now the front of my spaceship. I know that looks like an amazing front, but this is actually the front, trust me. And you can see now that the red arrow is to the right. What that means is that now positive X value, so have a look here, if I drag to the right, it goes up. That means positive X is to the right, positive Y is up, and positive Z is into the screen. That's how I want to have it set up, and we need to make sure we pay attention to these things whenever we're importing assets that we've brought in from elsewhere or setting up a new project. We need to ask ourselves, how big are things, where are things positioned, what's to the right, what's to the left, just so we don't accidentally get some issues down the road. I'm also going to put this object right at the very 0, 0, 0 of the world, just so I know, from now on, my spaceship is right at the middle. Side note, feel free to make your own spaceship or bring in a different spaceship. You don't have to use mine. I've just given this to you, so we've got something to work with and a starting point. I've only just noticed it, but I'm going to put my little menu bar thing up the top there and get rid of that. This is one of the downsides of zooming in so much that you can see my screen really well, is that it makes it really difficult for me to do stuff, but it's all good. Now, how large is our spaceship? Well, according to our scale, it's 1, 1, 1 in terms of Unity units, but that's its scale, that's not its actual size. So how do we find out the actual size of this thing? The easiest way is for us to right-click in the hierarchy, 3D object, and create a cube. And the cube, I'm just going to right-click reset, so it's right in the middle of the world once again. I'm going to move that to the left, move it up a little bit, so it's sitting right next to my rocket, and you can see, hang on, this one says it's 1, 1, 1, and this one says it's 1, 1, 1. What's going on there? Well, the scale of this rocket is 1 of itself. It hasn't been scaled up and it hasn't been scaled down. It's just the size it was brought in at. If we click into the prefab itself, you can see that each of these different elements has different sizes and scales and all that kind of stuff. And overall, this object is probably about 2 Unity units high in the world. If I was to duplicate my cube, there we go, we've got 2 cubes. It's probably about 1.8, which coincidentally is pretty much what most games try to have as their player. They try to have a little bit of realism comparing it to meters. So if this is 2 meters high, an average human might be 1.8 meters. So 1.8 meters is a general height that is used for the player character in a lot of games. And then we build the world around that. And so you can see a Unity unit is not necessarily a meter or a foot or a yard or any of those kind of things. It's just a 1. So we've established that our ship is about 2-ish by just plopping in that cube that we know comes in at 1 Unity unit by 1 Unity unit. We know that as well by looking at our grid line. So you see my grid line underneath the cube, that's 1, 1, 1, 1. So you can see that my spaceship is kind of like 1, 2, and a bit wide. And if we had grids behind us, it would be 1 and nearly 2. And we can use our cube to kind of simulate that 1 and 2 to see how high it is. And we need to know that when we're bringing in other objects. So let's have a look at what else we got in our fancy package. I'm going to give myself a tiny bit of room in the project folder here. We can look in the models. And in here, I've got this big old building and it's quite massive. And so you might look at that and say, whoa, 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 that's way too massive. I don't want it that massive, which is great. You can jump into the scale and put that to 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, not a problem. We're allowed to do that with any of our assets. But the point I wanted to make here is just because an asset is a particular size doesn't mean that's the right size, doesn't mean that's the size you have to use it as. A lot of what we're going to do in this project is just drop things into the world and say, oh, you know what? I want to pretend that that's like a wall that we have to get over. So I'm just going to scale it up. And that is one of the beauties of using low poly objects. You might have heard people talk about low poly objects a lot, is that they scale really well. They're supposed to look kind of chunky like this. So if I scale it up, that looks just as normal as if it's quite small. But if you're to do that with something that's a little bit more realistic, and say a tree, and you scale it up and then the tree ends up having all these edges on it that doesn't look so good, then it might break the look of your game. But low poly games are really easy to manipulate things and copy things and duplicate things and stretch things like, oh, there's now a totally different building. That doesn't look so good, but you can scale it and stretch it and smush it a little bit and have it look totally different to how it looked before. So I'm going to delete that one. The other thing we want to do in this world is pay attention to where our ground is, and it gets a little bit confusing sometimes. I'm just going to drop in a ground for now. We might remove later on, but I'll right click. I'll do this as a cube actually, rather than doing it as a plane, because I want it to have some fatness to it, some substance. So I'll pop a cube in there. And I could have left my other cube in there. Sorry, other cube, for deleting you. I'm going to call this ground. It's all just temporary for now. And I'm going to drag it out a little bit. And I'm just going to actually mouse over the numbers here. Mouse over the X, mouse over the Z or Z, and mouse over the Y. Now you can see it's way too high. So where do I want this kind of pretend ground to be placed? I want it to be placed down underneath my player so that the top of it is at the 0, 0 position on the Y. And if you want to get that exact, I can say, let's make my Y height, which is the up-down height, make it 10 exactly. And then if I want this to be, the top of it to be exactly at the 0, we need to half the 10, because the 10 is from the top to the bottom, and the middle point where the coordinates are coming from is right in the very, very center of our object. So therefore, if we put this to -5, which is half of 10, it'll drop it down half of itself, and the top of it now should be at exactly the 0 point on the world. What to do next? Well, let's set up a little bit of structure. Our game is going to be essentially flying my rocket, I'll just move him over there, from one launch pad to another launch pad. So let's find a couple of objects, or an object that we can put in there twice to use as a little launch pad. I think I popped a couple of things in here. Side note, if you click on an object, I'm in the models, I'm looking at our various models here, you can grab it over on the right-hand view. If you don't have the view, then you can grab the little slider and slide it up. If you don't have the view, and you can find a candidate for your launch pad. I've got that one. There's another one I think I dropped in there that looks like this little weird outdoor dining table. You know what? I might use the weird outdoor dining table just because it's got the word weird in my description of it. And I'll drop that into the world, place it down a little bit. It's like a little platform, isn't it? And then I'll rename this. It's not actually, what is this, a mothership? Full disclosure, I just went and raided one of our asset packs and pulled out a whole bunch of little pieces that I thought would be useful for us in this project. So it's all a little bit random, but that's a great thing about using assets is we can use random stuff to full effect. Now I'm going to rename this, click on it, and then F2, I'll call this launch pad. And then I'm going to duplicate that, drag it over to the right, and we will call this landing pad. Okay, and we can play around with the colors and stuff later on. So you're going from like blue to green, but for now we'll just have blue, and our player is in the middle. I'll drag the player over to the left, and put the player generally on top of this launch pad so that we're showing the overall layout of our game. You're going to fly from there to there, and that's what we're doing in our game. The last thing we'll do is save our scene properly. It's currently called sample scene, which is not a very good name for a scene. So I'm going to jump up to File, Save As, double click in Scenes, and I'll name this Sandbox. Because we're just going to play around. That's what sandbox means, is just play around with things in here. We're not trying to make a proper level per se. Click on Save, and now we have a sandbox level. Double click on the sandbox level, and it should show somewhere. It used to show up the top, but now it's only showing in here. Sandbox, if I double click on sample scene, you can see in here, sample scene, back to sandbox. So we don't need our sample scene anymore. I'm going to click on the sample scene object down in my scenes folder, delete that, get rid of it to tidy things up. Now we just have sandbox as our scene, and we've brought in our assets, and we're good to go for the next lecture. I will see you then.